at the finish line of this FJ60 that looks absolutely drop dead gorgeous. I really think that tan is the best color for one of these, and we tried something new. We painted this stuff black to kind of give it a blackout look, and I think it just really turned a page for this truck and really gave it that extra glow. We've done a ton of work to this truck over the last year, so let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at everything that's been done. Well, I bet you guys didn't see this one coming. The FJ60 needs some more stuff. A lot more stuff. I know, tell me about it. Money pit. Let's get started. Well, the truck's not charging. I know, you're just as surprised as I am. So we made a little trip over to the AutoZone. We picked up this brand new alternator. It actually might be remanufactured, but these come with a lifetime warranty. I've always had success with them, so let's go ahead and slap this on and see if we can solve that no charging issue. Changing out your alternator is pretty straightforward on one of these trucks, but one of the major things you got to watch out for if you're buying your alternator from AutoZone or another place is that the pulley here needs to be switched over with an impact. This is the stock pulley here. This is the one that comes with the alternator. Sometimes it does come with the correct pulley, but what you're going to have to do is just use the impact to pop that nut off and switch those over, and you shouldn't have any issues after that. Charge. And now we have a charging alternator. Well, it's one of my favorite days and projects to do on the FJ60, and that's painting the frame with some good old POR 15. Psych, that's a total lie. It's actually one of my least favorite projects to do on one of these trucks, but it is super necessary for keeping one of these trucks on the road for years to come because of their notorious rust issues. So we're going to be getting familiar with this metal bristle brush, as well as this paint spatula, depending on how deep we need to go on the frame. And then we're going to be moving on to these foam brushes, which I find are the best way to spread POR 15 onto the frame. If you're not familiar with this product, I've done this process on a few other trucks in the past, so there'll be a link right here on how that all works. So let's get started because there's a lot of work that needs to be done under there. Two days later, I finally finished painting the frame. I know, you're just as excited as I am. At least it looks really good. So let me show you what the finished product looks like. Shoot, you guys caught me doing one of my favorite things, which is polishing these old faded chrome FJ60 rims with some steel wool. I know, there's so many other amazing things you could be doing with your time, but this one really hits home. We got 4 rims to do, so let's get some elbow grease going. This is what the rim is looking like after a little bit of polishing time. I like to take the rims off the actual truck because of these studs here. You can't really get in those crevices on the rim. If you go over here, you can check out what the rim used to look like. I mean, come on, that is an incredible night and day difference, if I don't say so myself. Let's keep the momentum going because we got 3 more rims to do. A few hours later, the FJ60 rims are all polished out and ready for the small details like these hub covers. We're jumping back into the engine bay, which seems to be the never-ending story and project for this truck, by installing the I'm a Vagabond Freeloader Mouse House 650, i.e. the hood insulator. This truck didn't come with one when I put the new hood on it, so I was able to pull one from a parts truck. Couple things to note before we install it is that on the back of the hood, there are 2 hanger lips that the insulator lays into and then is able to be clipped up onto the hood. These are the clips here, i.e. known as the Christmas trees. These are direct from Toyota, and I was able to pull them out of a parts bin I had. So there is a part number on there, which I'll put in the description below so everybody can see that just in case they want to do this project on their own time. I gotta say, this hood insulator really just sets the engine bay off. Even though it's a used part, it still really does its job, you know what I mean? Oh, I thought there was a snake. It's battery cable, because gotta do battery and cable ends on the truck, because it's got a grounding issue and a hard start, so gotta do that too. Go figure. Well, this girl's been in a little bit of hibernation for a while, you know, taking a break from the world. Some of us need to do that sometimes before they go out to this crazy place we call Earth again. And that's true. She's coming up online for sale very soon. We gotta finish up some small little details like washing her and polishing up the paint, but I just took her on the first drive in many months and she didn't skip a beat. So let's get into it by washing her and getting her polished. Well, it's time for the final step of getting this truck back on the road, and my favorite part. Not. Because it's gonna take hours to get this paint to where I like it, but the next owner will reap the fruits of my labor, if you know what I mean. So enough talking, I got a lot of work to do, so quit bothering me, okay? Well, it's official. This FJ60 is finally finished. It's crazy what a couple hours with a bumper can do to an old vehicle. It actually brings a little bit of a tear to my eye because I'm slowly starting to realize that this is no longer going to be my truck in a couple weeks, and that just hurts because I never get to enjoy them when they look like this. So, fella's a little tired. He needs some sleep, so he's gonna go take a little bit of rest, and we'll see you in the morning to absolutely detail everything that was done to this truck to make her look like she does right now. See you in the morning. Just like all the other trucks that are revealed on the channel,
Tons of work goes into them, and this one is no exception. We're gonna start in the interior with our outline, and as you can see, immediately extremely presentable and clean. We went ahead and gutted the entire interior in preparation of adding a brand new carpet kit, which gives it that extra special clean look as well as smell. It feels like a brand new car in here. The dash, the gauges, all the knobs are in working condition and the way they need to be, especially things like the shift knob. There are external gauges that were added before my time, and those all work to give correct indications with what's going on with the 2F. Moving to the back of the vehicle, these seats usually are in terrible shape just from being folded for years on end. This one is in exceptionally good shape, as well as the wheel well covers. There's no bends or cracks in these on both ends, and they look absolutely amazing, really setting the rear of the truck off. As we move to the rear of the truck, all the cargo panels are all in presentable shape and where they need to be. As you can see, it is all very fresh and clean back here, just the way it needs to be for one of these trucks, including a rear tailgate carpet. As we move to the outside of the vehicle, it is apparent a ton of work has been performed. Things like these bumper caps on all four ends didn't exist before. A factory FJ60 exhaust has been added. These rims have been polished out to a mirror finish and accented with center caps, rear and front. If you take a look at the frame, it's been coated with the rust inhibitor POR15 to make sure that it stays in its state for years to come. So somebody that wants to enjoy this truck and really drive it can, and it's not gonna fall apart on them. As you can see, the dog legs into the bottom rocker panels are very solid, which is one of the reasons that attracted me to this truck originally. If you're a Toyota owner, you know that is one of the first things that goes on these trucks. As you can see, a safari snorkel has been added before my time, and it really sets the front end of this truck off because it's an unusual thing to see on one of these trucks. It has been correctly added with the correct intake off the carburetor, so it actually is a functional snorkel. If you can note that this hood looks absolutely amazing. If you go back to the first episode on this truck, that hood and front end was completely crushed in. We weren't even able to close the hood. And now all that stuff is back in place and looking absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and pop the hood and show you what's under that hood. Under the engine bay is where a majority of the work on this vehicle has taken place. Things like the brake booster have been replaced and upgraded, so we have excellent brakes. The carburetor was replaced with an OEM one and gone through. The exhaust manifold and intake have been taken off, and we added a Remflex gasket to eliminate any leaks moving forward. The V-belts are all replaced on this vehicle, moving over to a brand new alternator, brand new battery, and secondhand battery tray, as well as battery cable ends. A DUI distributor has been added before my time and really simplifies things under here. As we move over to the snorkel intake, I said earlier that it was correctly installed. As you can see, it is a functioning snorkel that runs to the carburetor. I think that the engine really sets this truck off. As you can see, she is idling silky smooth, just the way a 2F should be idling, and sounds like a sewing machine, which is one of my favorite sounds these trucks make when they're correctly put back together. Well, as you can see, this truck came out absolutely beautiful, and it's time for me to jump in her and take on her our final test drive before we post her online this evening. If you're interested in this truck, feel free to leave a comment below or email me. My email will be in the description below. Hey, and also don't forget to subscribe and like and share these videos so we can keep on putting these things back on the road. Let's get in there and take her for a ride.